Jimmy's Jam Box. Keep jamming. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jam Box. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Butterfly Blue, a deeply calming hemp jasmine tea. A gentle white tea combined with tropical fruits and butterfly blue pea flower to create an elixir that is as delicious as it is beautiful. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. All right, thank you all for watching. Again, shout out the Brothers Apothecary. Click the link below. The holidays are still happening. You know what to do. But now, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Colin.
I'm Ray. And we're
Part-time Perfect.
Hell yeah, hello. Thank you all so much for joining us. Let's go ahead. We're going to start right at this end, and let's get to know y'all individually. So how'd you get started in music?
I had a bunch of piano lessons when I was a kid, like 10 years of lessons, I think.
Oh, damn.
And yeah, it was a good like backbone for having musical understanding and, you know, get the feel of everything. And then that kind of just kind of transposed throughout everything I did after that point, you know. Got into trumpet and then picked up a guitar, got sick of all the, you know, the kind of, you know, piano lesson kind of music that went along with that. And then just taught myself guitar by ear. And then, and then any instrument I could make noise out of, you know.
Yeah,
it's fair game.
Can you read music and play guitar now, or is it just by ear?
Oh, so guitar, yeah, I mean, yeah, tabs or something, but I'm not going to read like.
Okay, so you can't do sheet music with guitar.
No,
Can you still do it with piano?
Rad, but yeah, I could do that, but I mean, I really need to get back into it. I've been a very lazy musician, honestly.
Fair.
But yeah, guitar is all, you know. I like doing all alternate tunings for guitar, stuff like that, you know, and but it's all by feel and by ear.
Yeah. And what got you into the bass part of it?
I just wanted to jam with a buddy, you know, who's, you know, needed a bass player, you know, I don't know, probably 5-6 years back, and started dabbling a little bit, and then I've just got involved in many different other projects along the way. Including this one. So, yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. All right. And then what about you?
Well, I grew up in a pretty musical household. My mom taught piano lessons for a while and sang in choirs.
Did she teach him?
Not that I don't think so. But I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
That would have been awesome.
What a wild connection that would have been.
It would be.
It could have happened.
Yeah.
It could have. It's just in another reality that happened. And your mom was my piano teacher,
right?
And you know, yeah. I was having a crush on your mom and developing all these feelings. You know, as I was becoming from
I should have known
to a young man, and
yeah.
So assuming she didn't.
Okay.
Well, whether she did or not, she taught piano and did like choir and barbershop quartet type stuff.
Okay.
And and it was a pretty musical household. My dad played a lot of music. We had music going a lot. So, and then I picked up the guitar around 12 or 13 and really got into it pretty quickly. And started playing in bands around 19 as a lead guitar player. And then started writing songs about 5 or 6 years after that, and became a frontman.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of by accident.
Yeah, I mean, don't we all? Hell yeah. And then what about you?
My house was party house all the time. Lots of musicians, a lot of music being played. my dad kind of played some bass. Nothing that I remember like my dad's a bass player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember he having a guitar in his hands at times, and I pulled out all the pots and pans as a young kid.
You're
banged
born
on
drummer.
them, and my dad's like, "We got to get this boy a drum set," and so I was on and off drum sets, kind of my whole childhood. Lost one in a fire, so I took a couple years off, and then got into school band and did a drum corps for a while, freshman year in high school and stuff, and then got into the band thing. Just the small band feel was, I love that kind of chemistry. Big orchestra band's cool and stuff, but just that the room full of couple people and having at it. So I've always loved music.
Yeah, and it sounds like you had the perfect house to learn drums in.
Oh, yeah. I had the perfect house to learn anything, and it was pretty free range.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. I was definitely allowed to play my drums, and I've always developed a way to make them quieter somehow. We call them dumb drums.
Well, have you seen those like mesh heads now? The ones that you can like replace the actual drum heads with?
Yeah. I have a system. I take like a t-shirt, right? I'll take my head off, put the t-shirt over, then put the head back over it.
Oh, so you put the ring on and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
You can't really even tell that there's something. It's just a cloth underneath it.
Interesting.
And so you get the snap. You get to use your sticks the same feel, but it really dumbs them down.
Oh.
Like really dumbs them down. We sold out a senior living place because of the dumb drums.
I wonder if there's something to that. Because like I said, I've seen the ones where you replace the top heads with like the mesh completely. But what about like a cloth cover that goes between the ring and the head and actually, that's something cool.
Yeah.
We'll save that for another episode. That's a really interesting
the mesh,
concept.
you don't get the same tone.
You don't get the same tone, but it's cool that you get some kind of resonant tone.
Yeah.
That's like the nice part. It's not like practice pad. Like you can tune them to a degree and get a characteristic, but you're not hopefully pissing off the neighbors in your next door apartment if you live in an apartment. So I appreciate the blend of opportunity of acoustic and muted.
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely not my favorite. I like that idea much better.
Yeah. I called them dumb drums.
Fair. All right. And then we got a couple more foundation questions. These are just kind of fun get to know yous. And this first one, it's one we ask early. It's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money? We'll go ahead and start at this end.
Well, that would have been either AFI's Black Sails in the Sunset.
Okay.
Or it would have been Blink-182, Enema of the State.
Either is a very acceptable answer. Hell yeah.
It was, I used to love that old pop punk.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You just got started with the good stuff right away.
Yeah, I just kind of went hand in hand with grabbing a guitar, learning power chords, and then copying what I heard on the radio.
Fair. True.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And what about you?
So I'm not sure exactly, but it would have been that kind of mid-90s alternative Christian scene. So something like DC Talk or Audio Adrenaline or something.
Okay.
Newsboys, man.
Newsboys, yeah.
I was always a Five Iron Frenzy fan growing up. And then subsequently Roper.
Yeah, the cool kids at youth group were into Five Iron Frenzy.
Yeah. My youth pastor was like 26 and he showed me. He was like, you got to listen to this. And I was like, whoa.
Did you like Supertones?
I didn't get super into them, so I can't speak on it too much. That was many moons ago for me.
Yeah.
Many moons ago. But now I'm going to check them out actively. That's after this episode, I'm not going to sleep.
Should definitely be.
These days.
Oh, yeah. And then what about you?
Well, for me, I was bouncing around between rock and hip hop, so it would have been like a Run DMC.
Okay.
I said Aerosmith earlier, but I think it was Van Halen now I think about it. I think Van Halen was my first rock cassette that I bought.
Yeah.
And then I know that License to Ill I bought myself too. So
hell yeah.
It was all kind of in the same, I mowed some grass, I got some money.
Yeah.
I'm going to go buy my own music. So
can't stop me, mom and dad. Legal tender.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't have stopped me.
Hell yeah. All right. And then starting back at that end, what was one of the first shows you ever went to that was like one that you wanted to go to?
Well, I grew up watching a bunch of different performers. And so I saw a lot of different shows without knowing what meant. And I don't remember what year it was, but my dad asked me if I wanted to go see a big country show, because he listened to country a lot. But it was like Johnny Cash, Ronnie Millsap, Charles Daniels Band. It was like 3-day event. It was here at Clark County. It was early 80s or whatever, but that's where I really saw show business.
Yeah.
When the Man in Black sings Ring of Fire and he's literally standing in a ring of fire, you're just like, like blown away. That's a ring of fire.
Yeah.
And just timing and pyro, just all that stuff. The shows was really cool. So
yeah, I thought that was wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, which I'm not old country I'm a fan of. I can really respect and appreciate it. I mean, modern country is kind of a little different for me, but
somebody on a past episode said that people write country now, like for the people listening at shows. Like that's kind of the whole point. Is like when you go to a live country show now, there's an energy for sure. Like I myself am just not the biggest of country fans in modern standings, but like I have been to a couple, and I got to tell you, they know how to party. Like those lawn seats party just as hard as the front seats.
Oh yeah, it's
a huge tradition of musicianship and stagecraft and all that stuff.
Yeah,
where I grew up in, I always call it Middle California in the Bay Area. There was a venue called Shoreline. It's like the big one down there. They had a season pass for the lawn seats for all the country music shows that came through during the summertime.
Oh yeah,
a season pass, not for like one band, not like this band, like. For like anything, I think hosted by a certain production company or something, but you could season pass country shows during the summer. I don't know any other genre that actively did that other than maybe like classical music. So like that's something. Like
I mean,
I want like a hip hop season pass. Like if that's an option, I'll take that. I'll take that any day of the week.
The amphitheater over here did that.
Yeah,
I'd be tempted.
Yeah. Like that's just like first of all, venues. You should start doing that. Right. But just like, so at the end of the day, country carries a lot of weight, and old country definitely had that whole experience.
It's work music.
Yeah.
It's like, I always wanted reggae on when I was working. Reggae is my country, so to speak. But traditionally speaking, like you go to any warehouse, anything, it's like, there's going to be a country radio station on.
Yeah.
And that era, I think those dudes, the Magnificent Seven or whatever, I think that they had genius intentions. Like they literally are like, wait, they were all party animals and crazy wild people.
What?
And like you wouldn't believe it, but they had it fooled. They were on day radio and they, sure you can go see Willie Nelson. It's like, I'm going to get higher than a motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't even have to smoke anything there.
Yeah, but it's like
contact high on site.
But they just had this built in, like, oh my God, just packed houses, because everyone could go see Willie. It's okay. Sure, honey, you can go with your friend and go see, Johnny or whatever. And they just had no idea. It's like, oh, I'm getting drunk, I'm getting late. It's like, it's a big party. And so I think the old country had some cool stuff going on for it. But yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm a country star, or a country, person.
I don't think you're a country star either. No. I hate to break it to you, but if I have to be the
you
one.
You don't know about that, baby. I put on my hat and started talking like you just stand in line.
You're the Billy Ray Cyrus of Hannah Montana.
Oh, I got rid of my mullet years ago, bro.
I meant the double life
from you met the
TV
mullet.
Show. All right, but let's keep moving on with this. What about you?
Mine would have been DC Talk, I think.
Just lined right up.
Yeah. The church I went to, the youth group, worked security at the old Jesus Northwest music festivals that used to happen. So I got to see, before I ever went and saw a concert, I got to see a whole bunch of live music at that. And then I would have seen them there first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did you work security as well then? Were you part of that, or were you just there?
Yeah,
because
it was the CD store at the mall, the Christian CD store at the mall.
Gotcha.
Would have a massive booth there.
Damn.
And they had shoplifting problems. So we just walked around, and it was this awkward thing of like, if you see something, shout, I guess. I never saw anyone shoplift, but you just have your shift and you walk around.
You yell, you would go, thou shalt not steal.
That's irony in that is just amazing.
Yeah. What
awesome.
What an odd concept.
Christian
How old were you at the time?
CDs. That's great.
Middle school.
Oh, no.
The world needs more.
What if the
Christian kids stealing?
Yeah.
Well,
like,
apparently there
stealing Christian
were
music.
I was
there
going to
were
say, yeah,
definitely
who is
some.
stealing Christian music? That
High
seems-
schooler just
that
beats
seems
the snot out of you.
backwards.
I'm taking this album. You're not doing nothing for it.
Yeah.
Stop me.
Oh, wild. Well, thank you for your service. We appreciate
Yeah.
you.
I never actually made a stop.
And all those.
You know what? It was your presence that stopped it from happening to begin with.
Hey,
The
put
only-
that back. It's a skinny little kid.
The only people stealing were the security people, and they didn't even know it. They're like, they'll never know.
Back in the day, I had some experience tracking down, chasing shoplifters.
Ooh.
When I was a kid. There was a security guard at Kmart where I was a cashier. He was like 400 pounds, and he'd be like, he didn't want to chase anybody. He'd be like, hey, Zach, those people, bring them back here. And I was like 16, 17. I was
You're like, watch my drawer.
fearless, whatever, just chase people down the road and harass them until they came back
Hell yeah.
or dropped the stuff and ran or whatever.
I mean, hey, that's the way to do it.
I didn't know what danger was.
Oh, yeah, you did. You lived on it.
All right, well, let's go ahead and let's find out what your first show was, or at least one of the first ones that you wanted to go to.
Yeah, so that would have been like in high school. There were kids at my high school that were they put together like a venue for local bands and stuff.
Oh, damn.
They'd even pull some out of towners. I remember the one time they got RX Bandits to come through. Stuff like
Okay.
that. Yeah, and so like it would just be like local punk and hardcore bands and. I remember my, pop punk band. We played there. So actually nearby here, and
Oh, hell yeah.
yeah. So I remember one of the names that sticks out. There was a band called Brutal Fight, and they were
Oh, shit.
and they were.
That's a tough band name.
People would throw down to that shit. Yeah,
I feel like it would be a prerequisite. You know what I mean?
yeah. They had a game they would play called Knights of Battle, where the pit would just become the game floor, and someone would be the horse, and someone would be the rider, and then you were the
goodness.
last horse and rider standing by any means necessary.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
you won, and they would play. And then when they did a reunion show a while back, and I was the horse, and my buddy was the rider. We were ripping everybody down. We're like, yeah, we're gonna win the last ever Knights of Battle, and I got kicked in the head, knocked out.
Oh, no.
And I remember people just trampling on me.
Everything's like,
Yeah, and then suddenly there was just everything went black.
Yeah, I was like, I was kind of aware I was being.
Could you imagine?
On, but I couldn't move, and I got like drug out.
Could you imagine if they integrated that with a wall of death at the same time?
gee.
Oh man,
Oh no!
that's the future.
This is recorded. That was said out loud. If somebody wants to do that, just at least tag me in whatever video comes out of that. That's exciting. Oh my god, that's terrifying. You're a bold man. And I mean, I guess you got to show up. What was the name one more time?
Brutal Fight.
Brutal Fight.
If you like some of that, late '90s kind of
Just lounge music.
early
Just
odds. Yeah, just chill,
pit.
ass, super calm.
Perfect.
hardcore. Then look it up. Yeah.
Well, if they ever do another reunion, come on the show. All right, but now let's go ahead and let's get to know y'all as the here and now, and let's talk about the band. And we're just gonna get the easiest one out of the way. How'd y'all pick your name?
Well, we were talking about a name for a couple days, and then you just said something off the cuff. It wasn't exactly Part-Time Perfect, but it was.
Yeah, it's I can't be perfect all the time, just part of the time, or something like that.
Okay.
I can only be.
Yeah, and then we all just kind of stopped, thought about it.
Uh,
I think that's a thing. Is that a thing? I think that's a thing.
the thing.
There's got to be something there.
Yeah, it was, and then
Hell yeah.
I mean, quickly it went to we're just part-time perfect,
Mm-hmm.
and we're like, whoa,
Hell yeah.
it is. I think it's a cool band name. Kind of fits us really well because
Also, just structurally, I mean, alliteration. First of all, Jimmy's Jambox, big fan. Anytime you have that, and I mean, like the size of the words are really congruent. Just like it
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Abbreviates. We say PTP all the time.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually really cool because the T works in the middle and then you could even invert one of the P. That's really cool. Okay.
Actually, hang on. That hasn't really been done, has it? With the P's.
Yeah, you turn the two P's sideways and you do the small P, and you have
actually
the two circles for the P.
I think we should use that.
I will.
We haven't done anything with PTP.
As far as logo wise,
I will make you guys one. Remind me when you rewatch this episode because I may forget if I am skimming through this point. I will make that for you. And that's recorded, so it's
cool. It's a legally.
This is a verbally binding statement. I can't promise you'll love it, but I will make it for you. But So no, I mean, as you can see, quality names because they inspire new concepts and look cool. So
when we did our first logo, I was like, what would be cool is if we had a couple of the words really perfectly printed and
then the rest.
And we take the other one, the other one, just mix it all up, and our buddy
ransom note
just grabbed random fonts and turned them and tilted them and turned, and so the word perfect itself is just completely just shot.
Love that.
And then part time is literally
just typewriter font.
Yeah,
it's not Comic Sans. No, that is also a cool concept.
Yeah, and then people ask you, what's the font for that, so I can do this logo for you?
Have you heard of Wingding?
And it's I'm just gonna send you a copy of the picture.
Yep. Yeah, a little backgroundless PNG. Yeah. We'll do you that solid. Hell yeah. All right, now let's go ahead and we're going to dive into your writing process. Now, this one's a little dense, so we're going to kind of take it in chunks, but we're going to start right at the beginning. How does a song get started?
Well, most of the songs I write and bring in, and then we just kind of massage them and try different things and do stuff. We do have some songs that have started out of jams or started out of other ideas. So
do you usually show up with a firm structure, or do you have pieces and so you just have it all? I guess you said for a section of time now you've been writing music, so I guess you would have that structure in there. Do you have loose parts in mind for the other two, or are you just this is what I play?
No,
you guys do anything under it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, recently I've because getting more and more into home recording and demoing stuff out every now and then. We have a newer song that I did a demo with a just a drum sample and just with the snare, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 on driving through it for part of it, and that so I suggested that. So little things like that, but mostly no, not at all. Just play it and see what happens.
Gotcha. All right. So then after you bring the song to the group, what do you guys do from there?
And fight and argue. No, just kidding. Not at all.
Well, Colin's really not actually that cool about it. If you
root note based.
Tell them what to play, but I do tell them what not to play.
Yeah.
No, we just I have an awesome time just locking in with Ray with whatever grooves we come up with, because he's a very unique style drummer. And so it really kind of keeps my brain active to
keep you on your toes.
Yeah, work in with that, and bring my flavor to things, because I'm more kind of in the pocket, sort of approach. And then, but I think we come up with some very nice complementary grooves.
Yeah,
So it's
I was gonna say, an in the pocket bass player with a slightly out of pocket drummer. That's always the perfect combo. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's always the part-time perfect combo.
Oh, shit. Love that. Love that. Do you usually lead bass first for writing, or does it usually go drums first when it comes to bringing it in from there?
Oftentimes Ray's already drummed stuff out with because they jam a bit more without me.
Oh, gotcha.
Kids are friends and stuff, so we're just kind of hanging out.
So you're stuck a little more often anyway.
Yeah.
They don't let me hang out with them because I don't have kids. Can I bring my cat? So no.
Yeah.
Do they like kids? Well, I mean, they could.
But
I like kittens.
But I mean, no, some stuff. Yeah, we just come up with grooves together in the room, or other times I'm listening to what Ray's doing, and then we bounce around ideas until something locks in. But it's very if he kind of wants a certain feel, I'm always asking, hey, what are you feeling for this, or or if there's a different sort of beat I think would work good. Ray's always open to hearing me out on it, and
I mean, it's just really easy and fun.
Yeah.
You know, there's one time where I didn't want to play a certain beat. Zach was like, hey, do that thing, the thing everybody does. Like, it worked perfect.
Yep.
Another time, actually on a song that we just played live for the first time, I've even gotten up and let him sit down at the kit and be like, well, show me what's in your head.
Yeah.
Because articulation of what's going on in your head, it's like, it's like, no, I don't know. Here, show me, you know what I mean? And I was like, ooh, that works. I see what you're saying. It's like, that's going to be, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I'll play him a song with a bass line in theory. It's like, kind of like this with this many notes,
Mm-hmm.
And it's just all received well, tried, and then, nope, that's not it, or yep, that's it. And it's just got to be fun, and then it falls in place.
I think it's an important dynamic to have in a band for it to like really be successful, is like the willingness to try other people's ideas. Like you don't even have to love the idea to try it, but sometimes when you try it, you love it and you're like, oh man, I did love that. That's a good idea. And sometimes the person who wants to hear it hears and goes, you know what? Actually, that isn't it. But thank you for entertaining the thought. Yeah. That goes a long way.
And it can lead you down other paths.
Exactly.
Too, where it's like, well, that maybe isn't the thing, but that made me think of this thing.
Yeah, like you could have tried something and been like, what about this? And yeah, there's just so much that can go into that. But that's such an important aspect, I think, to having like an enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and still being able to express your feelings. And your
exactly.
thoughts,
Yeah.
Be like, no, I don't know, man. That's not feeling it. Like, that's not a groovy thing. It's like a little girl on you, or, just to be hard shell about anything in music is just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you're just restricting the experience at a certain
that's
point.
That's not what it's about.
There was a band I interviewed a little while back where there were two guys that just loved this particular part, and then there were two guys that didn't. And so they were like, just please trust us. We promise it's going to be awesome. And so every time they would like play it when writing and play it while practicing, the two guys that loved it would just go so hard during that, just give it like 120% for that moment. And eventually the two other guys just like came around to it because that energy just kept getting interjected into the situation. And suddenly they started feeling it.
Yeah.
And the guys never told them until their interview. So that was a fun reveal.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes you have something in your head and it's like you believe in it, and it doesn't always work the first time, because it's not tight enough, it's not together enough. And it's great to have people who you can do that to and be like, please, let's just try this. And then when it clicks, and everybody goes, oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
yeah, I've been hearing that in here for a while.
When everybody looks at each other and goes, oh, yep. Yeah. Hell yeah. And then from that point, once a song has been, marked as it's written, it's ready to practice, how long does that usually take before it's ready to perform?
Quickly.
Okay.
We just did a new song at our last gig that Zach live streamed off the cuff, pretty much right after we finally got it down.
Oh.
And it's a song that we've been having trouble with for a while because it's kind of funky.
Oh, interesting. What was the hurdle for the song?
It had kind of a funky time signature. The verse is like a count of 5/4 and then a count of 4/4 alternating, and just the way we built it up, it had a funky feel until it locked in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colin brought that song to my attention quite a while ago, like within like years ago.
Yeah,
and we got it to a certain point, and then we just kind of parked it,
Yeah.
And then
we got the feel good, but we didn't really know what was happening, so it was hard to get in and out. We didn't really understand what we were doing. We recorded it, and then I actually ended up going through and doing MIDI and mapping out Ray's kicks and snares, and then looking at it. And then he came over and I'm like, dude, I figured out what you're doing, and I figured out the count, and I figured out why it works. See, this is the one, and you're doing kick, 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 and see, you're not accenting the one at all, which is why it's hard for you to come in. You're doing the snare, and then...
Dude, I totally forgot. We recorded that.
Oh wow!
I actually want to listen to what I played because I think I'm probably playing something totally different now.
But it's
It was really good.
not that far off. Yeah.
Yeah, it was rock coming in and out of the verses. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
I switched from like a 4-string to now a 5-string.
Oh,
Just had
welcome to the
first
club.
Gig. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, just had a first gig playing a 5-string. It was kind of a trip, but
It's
yeah.
it's a whole new world when you realize you can go this way instead of this way sometimes, and you're like,
Mhm.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's a completely different experience.
Or when like you think that you're it's
Yeah, that thinking it's the E string is the hard part for a little while because it adds a one up there,
Why
not one
does
down
the E
here.
sound like a very low B.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a twist originally.
It's cool though. It feels good with the 5 strings.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It adds some
Yeah.
girth.
Yeah.
things, yeah.
Well, like I said, I think for me, a 5-string comes from the benefit of being able to move upwards to move downwards. Like, you know, like the first 4 notes are like the least important to me in the world of 5-string on the low B. It's like I said, being able to get to what would be further down on the E string by going to here instead of going to here.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's just, like then you can play on the top notes more and get into that mid range to be playing bass moments so that you get into that mid register. That lower mid is more respectfully what it
Right.
would be. So you get to play between the upper register notes that are doodle notes and still come back to a rhythmic element. So you're getting almost that duality in a weird range that the guitar starts to reach the bottom of.
Yeah,
So it kind of bridges the sound.
I'll be keeping that
Yeah.
perspective in mind because
Yeah, that's
I
pretty-
wonder how much it may or may not be doing that.
Yeah, no, it's a really it's
Yeah.
my favorite part of the 5-string edition. Is like I said,
Yeah,
you get to move.
so far. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
enjoying hitting those
Oh,
fat low
don't get me
notes here and
don't get me
there.
wrong. The lows, the low notes still hit, but like that was what I appreciated most about adding the 5th
this
string.
particular song, I'm tuning the top string to, instead of B, I'm tuning it to C,
Interesting.
so I can.
Because I'm in drop C.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So it's just it can get real.
That's
fat. Yeah.
that's not a bad move at all. Hell yeah, hell yeah. But I want to touch back on the live stream part of it. So you guys had like just got it like finished, like played through.
Yeah, a couple times, and
Wow.
yeah, and it was just like, oh shoot, this feels good, and I was stoked about it, and they were feeling stoked about it, and I was like, let's just throw it out there, get a little bit of performance heat, simulation going on, and
Wow.
let's see how this feels, and with a slightly different angle, and yeah.
That's just such a cool, that's just such a cool concept in my head. What was that like?
Well, like we all have a different thought pattern or process on how we get to where we're going,
Mhm.
but we all have kind of equal levels of what it is that we consider finished and showable and enjoyable,
Mhm.
And so I mentioned before, it's like this. It's like we all get this look like, oh, that was it,
Yeah.
And it's usually a little bit of massaging, a little bit of polish, a little bit of this, and we'll just play it that one time.
Mhm.
And then the next time we play it really similar. And then the third time it's like, oh, we're ready.
Yep, this is it.
Like we're so glad we did that to the bridge, and that's what brought us all in together, or whatever it is. Like I said, we might all get there a little differently.
Yeah.
I don't mind playing a song 200 times. I don't mind playing the same song
I would hope
10
so.
times in a row,
Yeah.
or whatever. Well, some people don't. They're just
Yeah.
like, I'm burnt out. Let's go to a different song,
Yeah.
come back. It's like, we usually don't do that until it's like,
Well, more meant in the generality, if you're going to be performing songs,
yeah.
oftentimes they'll be the
Yeah,
same.
I mean, sure.
Maybe not 10 times the same time sequentially at the same show, but that would be a weird show.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
People would pay for it though, bro.
It's very avant-garde of you.
No, I'm just saying, like, we get there.
Yeah.
And we know we all end up in the same spot at the same time, even though we took our different ways of getting there. It's kind of cool.
Hell yeah. Well, I think that's it's just such a cool concept to me to live stream it for that like third, like perfect run, or like that third, like settled run. Like what an interesting way to like add a little bit of performance pressure before even having to perform it. I really like that concept. I'm definitely going to share that in future episodes.
It was fun to do.
Yeah. And if you played it the best the third time, you would even have a recording of it.
Yeah, we've
Just
got-
like already
we've got
in that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's exciting.
I haven't heard it.
Oh yeah. And then once you guys, once the song is made, once you played it a few times, once you're ready to put it down, how long does it take you to feel like confident to record it? And then how long would you say you usually wait to like put it out, or is like a specific time you wait to put it out? Let's take like getting it out into the world. Tell us about that.
Well, we mostly have been home recording. We haven't been in a studio in a while.
Okay.
So, once we have it down, it's really just a matter of finding the time.
Yeah.
And then we record live and then overdub, but all the basic tracks are live. So it's kind of the same process where you get in there. Once you feel like, if we play this song 10 times, one of them will be a keeper.
Yeah.
At least one will be a keeper. Then you go in there and hopefully it works out.
Oh yeah.
And yeah. So.
Oh, sorry.
No, that wasn't it.
I was going to say, yeah, that might not be one that too many can add on to, but that's just, for the home recording part of it, do you guys mostly use those recordings and like give them to somebody to mix, or it's just one of you do the mixing as well?
We were doing that for a while. I had a guy who's fantastic, and he mixed all of the last record. And then this record that we just put out, he mixed part of it and I mixed part of it. Started doing the mixing.
Okay.
Because he started another business. Got busy. He got very busy with the other business, which is good. But
now he's only part-time.
Yeah.
See how many more of those we can throw in there.
Into it. I mean, I've been doing rough mixes of home recording stuff forever, so it was just kind of making that final step, and it was a lot of fun.
What platform do you use?
Logic.
Okay.
I switched to Logic. I've used Pro Tools and Cakewalk in the past.
Oh, damn. I don't hear a lot of people mention Cakewalk.
Well, it's free.
Yeah.
I was using Pro Tool. I was using like a version of Pro Tools that came with the DAW that I had, or the interface that I had. Yeah.
Oh, one of the old Apple boxes.
And then I ran out of the capacity of that. And then, I was not mixing on that.
Yeah.
I was just recording with it and having someone else mix it. And then I used Cakewalk because it was free and it supports third-party plugins. Mm-hmm. So I learned a lot on that. But then I needed a new computer, so I went Apple.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So do you use Logic 9 or Logic 10?
I think it's 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody uses 9. 9 was so much better.
Was it?
You heard me, Apple. I said what I said. I came up on Logic 8 and then Logic 9. So I was deep root. I bought books because you had to get books to be able to use it.
Right.
And then when I was working at Guitar Center, I got Ableton, and I haven't looked back since. This whole show is done audibly through Ableton. Apparently you can do video on it now, but I'm not going to mess with that. Shout out Resolve. Yeah. Thank you. All right. But now, thank you guys for going through that process. And it was definitely a lot of fun. But now let's go ahead and let's talk about kind of the parts that you enjoy individually when you're playing the music. So like, what is your, and we'll start on this end. What is your favorite song to play?
It's always the new one, man.
Yeah, I'd say yeah, oftentimes it's the new one. Other times it'll be one that, maybe I'm not really haven't felt it, and just played it for a while, and then all of a sudden I start to understand it more, or it kind of hits in a way, or I shift up just a slight thing with the way I'm grooving, or I lock in better with Ray. Mm-hmm. And it just, I just start feeling a little, for me, getting into bass just brought a lot of joy back into music for me.
Okay.
Because, it's just a totally different angle to approach music, and a totally different way to look at things and think about it. And so it's kind of, when I adjust that groove, or when I really really come up with, like with this newer song, there's this part where I'm kind of doing a bit of a slide, up and down to really get it swinging a bit, and those kind of moments, and those become my favorite things. But yeah, what Ray said, usually it'll be the new one, but but it's yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you share the same feelings as well?
Yeah, I like the new ones. I like the old ones too. The ones that you just feel super relaxed playing.
Yeah.
You're just
comfortable with it.
Just really comfortable. The pocket. You don't have to really worry about anything, and you can just kind of let go in them. That's really fun too. But yeah, there's always that level of excitement about anything new.
Yeah. I guess before we get to you, let me just to re-clarify, because like the thing I'm looking for is like, is there a certain part in any like one song that is like your most excited part to play? You know what I mean? Like, what's the one where you just like get jazzed to play it every single time?
I like it, like with Elevate, Deviate. I like that repetitive groove that I got. That's always a good time busting that out. And then
It always feels really good when that one hits for the first time when it comes in.
yeah, and then when it comes back to it,
Yeah.
it's that song is that's the one that we put that together, you know, like fully as a team on that one. Yeah, and it's a multi-genre song, you know. So it like starts off with kind of this really hooky sort of groove going on, and then it moves to kind of like a little headbanger moment, you know, kind of slow it down. And then it goes right into this like kind of more like aggressive, more like reggae type feel. And then it comes all the way back around to that initial hooky, you know, rock and roll groove. And that's always fun.
But it does it in a way that works. You know, a lot of times when you hear people say that, you're like, oh, great, that sounds like something that's selective hearing. It's like,
Yeah.
We just played an old song. We started with an old song the other night, and the second song that we played, you know, just transitions right from that song. So that's kind of a 2-song deal that we do. And we've been doing that towards the end of the set. But the other night we started with that. And it was, I mean, for me, this was a great feeling to start the show, start playing our first song with not necessarily the amazing, you know, and then, you know, I look up and I'm just like, Jesus, where did all these people come from? Like by the middle of the second song, that song just does it. And it literally is like 5 genres. Like we're just like, this part's reggae, this part's death metal, this part's, you know, and the way it just naturally worked out, man, it's crazy.
I'm gonna say that him saying that definitely makes me so much more curious about the song now.
It's not death metal.
I know.
You have to go see the song to play to experience it.
That was a really interesting one because it actually, like, you say these, you know, all these different genres, you're like, how can those coexist? But the way that we arranged it fucking works.
No, I get it.
Like, it's just interesting. Yeah.
War from a Harlot's Mouth is like this like super, super heavy band. And in the very first song on their album, there's this break where it's like jazz.
Oh,
like I'm talking like stripped down to boom, boo doo boo 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 doo. Like it just like, and then just goes boom, like you could put anything anywhere if you try hard enough. You know what I mean?
I've heard like Dillinger Escape Plan do a similar thing with jazz.
Oh, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Damn.
Yeah, dude. Their singers doing all the solo stuff, man. It's
okay.
Check that out. Yeah.
Hell yeah! Thank you for bringing that name up.
Oh yeah.
All right, now we've got one last question to go in the artist focus portion, but these are going to break down to individual, and this is probably the densest question of the interview. And we'll go ahead. We'll start at this end. We talk a lot about, you know, the things that happen because of music, the things that happen around music, and, you know, just as like an outward experience. But what does music give you when it's just you and the music?
I mean, I have a song that I co-wrote with an old buddy of mine. It's like, music is my drug of choice. I'm getting high on noise, getting high with the boys, getting high on noise. You know, it's like, and I was just talking to him the other day. It's like, you know, music's everything. Like I could be so pissed off and I could just spend 10 minutes in my band room and get that sweat and get that one thing and, you know, get an entity, a little spirit swooping through or whatever it is. You know, it's like, I feel like the drums are my antenna to the universe. And without them, I would probably just not be a cool guy because I wouldn't have any release, you know?
Yeah.
And I know that's kind of a lot of people say, oh, music saves my life. It's like, I can't say that because I've always had music.
Yeah.
And since I was a little kid, angry and running around smashing things, you know, it's like,
yeah, just go play drums.
Set.
Yeah.
You know, stop, go there, you know? Okay. You know, but, I do a lot of stuff when I'm playing by myself to work my hands out, my wrists, and I do some solo stuff. And there's sometimes where I'll do something, I'll just be like, no fucking way did I just do that, you know? And that's just really cool because you don't have to have a band. You don't have to have anybody in the room with you. You don't have to be showing off. You could literally just be playing your vibe, your thing, and get the fix, you know? And, yeah, I mean, music's my drug of choice.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I have other drugs of choices, but music is my
allegedly.
Air quotes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, the air quotes. Sorry. I
mean, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, similar. Joy definitely springs to mind. Just like, and I think like kind of a meditation, a way to just kind of unhook from everything and just be in the moment.
Oh,
So yeah.
Oh, yeah. As you've talked about the stuff you do through this, you seem very like, it all seems very like thought out and not like calculated, but it feels like you feel very like dialed in the way that you approach music and how you seem to present it.
Yeah, that's probably true. I have a hard time not thinking about it all the time. So I end up coming up with plans.
Colin keeps us like an album ahead. Like the other day, we just released our third album with the two of us together, you know, Screw Loose and the Engine Room's out. And I was like, yeah, man, I want to come over. I want to, you know, dabble on some stuff. I want to give, and he's like, well, you know, I got new songs. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's like, we need to get out this EP now. And then we need to put out this. And it's like, I don't ever get bored of what he plays or what he brings to the table. And I know there's plenty more to come.
Yeah.
Like and calculated is the perfect word because, you know, it's freedom. That's what makes it part-time perfect and fun. And it's like, it's not like he's.
Oh, so you're the part-time, he's the perfect.
Well, yeah, you know, every now and then he makes mistakes and we all write it down, you know, but, no, just kidding. It's the thing. It's what he does, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone, like I said, everyone just thinks a little differently, you know? Him and Zach are a little more alike. I am definitely just like, hey guys, but yet when you band practice, I'll be there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, show, I'll be there. And I'll try all those things open-heartedly. I'm not one of those dudes like, nah, I gotta play this beat or this. I don't give a shit what I play.
Yeah.
If it makes you smile and happy and I'm good with it and I can do it, let's do it.
Hell yeah.
You know, so it's, I don't know. It's just, you know, I think the calculation, somebody in the band has to be that way.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's extremely calculated. What time shit gets released and what time this and then the songs have that openness to it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's like, no, these are lyrics and this is my part. What are you guys gonna do? You know, it's like,
Hell yeah.
I can't wait to see what you know, I mean, I don't know if he ever writes, but can't wait to see what Zach does with this or can't wait to, you know, but
wait, do you?
No.
Oh yeah.
He records everything we say at all times.
Right.
And he writes.
I have like mood boards trying to predict
Yeah,
what the
string
parts
with
are going to be.
the thumbtacks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then lastly, what about you?
I've always been like possessed with music or something. I don't know, like constant echolalia going on. You know, there's.
It just lives in your brain.
Oh man, yeah. And it's just playing music is just kind of like I have to do it, kind of like I have to breathe or, you know, have to eat or, you know, it's like, and yeah, I've obviously provides some form of release and, you know, like you were saying, meditative at times, different kinds of music does different things. But like, yeah, it's very integral to I think, who I am, and you know, like I don't.
Oh yeah.
I was talking with a bandmate of mine in another project, and we were having like a more like philosophical type conversation, and she said something like we were talking about like reality or like purpose or meaning or whatever. And she's like, well,
usual band practice.
Yeah, like normal stuff, you know, like. She was saying, well, like. She's like, music requires time and space, you know, to exist, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, she's like, I kind of think I'm here just so I can experience music. And I was kind of like,
damn.
Yeah. What's up? You know?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really, really weird to not have music. But I mean,
Yeah.
But I don't know. You can't. But that's the thing. You can't really. It's like then it comes down to what do you define as music? I mean, there's vibration and everything. All music is vibration.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Well, we'll definitely get you two back on the show to expand the mental prowess of music approaches. Oh yeah. All right, guys.
You say that though, because there's times where like at night where I'll hear the rain, and my head just goes right to.
You're just like paradiddle, paradiddle.
Ding, doo, ding, doo. I'm like, damn, that'd be badass with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I always do that shit.
We're all afflicted. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to the last portion. And these are all hypothetical questions. Oh. So, the questions are made up and the answers can be too, but they're definitely a lot of fun. And we'll go ahead and start at this end. If you could add one more instrument to the band, what would you add to the band? And it could be anything. And if it's like one of those abstract ones, it will come with a person to play it and everything. But you could add anything. No holds bar.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, really, it'd have to be keys because, I mean, we've dabbled with that. We had a fella, filling in on keys for a minute. And even sometimes, like when I'm playing certain bass parts, I've got this Boss SY1 synth pedal, and I'll set it to like an organ sound, and you can blend the bass signal with that, and then put some washy reverb behind it sometimes and, get a little weird with it.
Oh, yeah.
But like we would kill with keys, Yeah, keys.
Okay.
Who wants to play keys?
Hey, everybody, put it in the comments if you want to be the new keyboard player.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, in all honesty, I'd probably second that.
Okay.
Like there'd be some cool other answers, but definitely fit.
Oh yeah.
I think the best. Yeah.
What about you?
That's across the board.
Okay.
I mean, Collins always said, there's nothing, because open door policy type thing, it's like there's nothing stopping it from becoming whatever it wants to be, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, we could have dual basses, we could have percussion, we would find a way to fit it in.
Yeah.
But I mean, like just to be the thing, it's like keys. Like we have a Juno 60 that we use, and a lot of the stuff. Colin will sneak it in there, and I was like, "Is that the Juno?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
But so it's there. Like our music has keys in it.
Yeah.
All the recorded stuff does.
That's
sprinkled in there.
Yeah, that's pretty standard. Like especially for like three pieces to have that added in, because it's like it's an element that it recorded. It adds something that live you can kind of reproduce with like just
energy.
Play. Yeah, like with playing and effects and things like that.
Yeah,
kind of took the easy way out on this question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess we did.
Well,
I'm gonna go change my answer.
You know what? Yeah, let's
theremin.
Theremin.
All right, I'm gonna go with bassoon.
Bassoon.
I mean harmonica.
Okay. Oh, damn. That's actually a good answer.
That would actually be fucking.
You know what I mean? And I want that crazy full violin. It's got to be that crazy full that runs a distorted harmonica.
Yeah. Well, you do have a microphone in front of you now for when you're playing.
Yeah.
Right?
And I do play harmonica too, but
wait,
drums and harmonica together are not really.
No, but periodically when the drums drop out, I think that's a perfect time for some harmonica.
I could definitely do a breakdown.
Why don't we do that?
Well, we will now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'll take that check, please.
I'll be waiting for the live stream check too.
There it is. There it is. All right. And then for this next one, just this is just kind of to plug some other like locals that you may be thinking of for these kinds of things. But who is another band that y'all would like to play a show with that you maybe haven't, but you're aware of and it would be cool to play with? And for this one, just kind of whoever thinks of one first.
I mean, shoot, we should line up a gig with Interstate and goddamn motherfucker.
We've got some friends who have started. We played with them before in other things, but they've started new projects. So the band Interstate and the band
They are no longer Interstate, gentlemen.
Well, they will no longer. So the band.
We want to play with you guys. Will you guys play with us?
Goddamn motherfucker. And
Goddamn motherfuckers. What kind of band name is that? Okay, I'd like to book my band at your venue. Okay, sure. Okay, what's your name? Goddamn motherfuckers.
I mean, They're in for it. If
I don't,
they
Yeah.
say
I don't
yes.
think it's plural, man. I think it's just one. There's only one.
Wow, there
really?
can only be one.
That's true.
Yeah.
These guys are rad though.
Yeah, they just played their first show. And it
Oh, yeah.
was very
I'm actually, I didn't get to go to it, but I am aware. I remember
Yeah.
seeing the name.
Yeah.
It stuck.
Yeah.
It really stands
Lived up
out
to the
when you see
name.
it the
Yeah,
first time.
totally.
It was a spectacle, yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's
stuff.
rad.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. And then for this last one, and this will be kind of individual answer as well, but if you all could perform anywhere and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access, building stability, power, perfect lineup, perfect show guaranteed, and it doesn't have to be a venue, it could just be anywhere in the world, where would you each want to perform?
Oh.
But as the band, so like, you know, you can't just be you solo for this one.
Mhm.
Just somewhere awesome outdoors, like
Mm.
Yeah.
have you know, like say it's theoretically possible to like hike in gear.
Yeah. Oh, it could be helicopter
Mhm.
flown in. There's no budget for
Go
this.
play somewhere and on those, you know, red rock areas in Utah or something, or let's
Oh,
or,
That would be rad.
dude, I don't know. We like jamming outside. So
Yeah.
that's kind of our thing a little bit, you know, when we can, you know.
Yeah.
In the woods.
I mean, I have multiple different like setups that would carry pretty easily. It's like we don't mind trucking a little bit and getting out there. And if you check out some of our music videos, a lot of them have outside parts where we're just randomly just out there.
Most of my live performances on the show were all filmed and recorded audibly out in like forests or on a dock. I did one at a
dope.
skate park. Like
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah, perfect.
Like,
Yeah.
like while there were skaters skating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. But no, I feel that outside is a whole experience. But like
I
just
love
for
playing
the
outside. Mhm.
the soul of the question, like let's do which national park would you perform at?
Oh shit. I mean, Yosemite is cool. They got some of those trails back there where people just walk up and randomly see you. You know, it's like what the. Yeah. I don't. I mean, this.
Yeah, let's go to Mazama, man. Crater Lake, you know?
Yeah,
That
would be rad.
That'd be nuts. Can you imagine playing with that behind you? Little sunset coming down, you know?
Mhm.
I mean, I think of big shows like Sturgis. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's bands out there that do Sturgis, or like what was it? Dave Matthews used to be like NASCAR circuit or whatever a little bit. Played on on the East Coast, and it's like some of those things are really cool. Like the Warped Tour vibe type thing. You're running this systematic show thing, and I've always kind of like Sturgis is a thing. That's a wild, crazy party.
Yeah.
And if you're going to play up there, you're guaranteed to be seen. People are going to maybe not remember you,
Mhm.
but people are going to remember you too.
Yeah.
Or like Daytona Bike Week, get gigs like that. Like,
Oh, yeah. All right. And then the final question, or at least for this portion before we start wrapping it up. If you could get an album from any one person or band, who would you want an album from? That's it. That's the whole question. Anybody. If you can get an album from anybody, it could be another band, it could be a single performer, it could be somebody who's never done music. But if you could get an album from one person, who would you want it from?
Paul Leary. I want to see what he would do. Like, what would, like, hey man, make me a compilation album. What would you give me? Rick Rubin, guys like that. Like, make me an album of whatever your favorites are.
Oh no, I mean like they like it would just be a new album. Like they would make all the music on it.
Just something like new that's never been heard before.
Yeah, like you could get
I understand.
anything.
Okay.
Oh,
I got a compliment the other day. Somebody said something to me, and it's kind of been ringing in my head. It's like, what would Led Zeppelin sound like in the mid 90s?
Okay.
I mean, that's
See, every time somebody answers this question, I always like try to like qualify it with, do you mean like then, like when it was prominent, or like now? So I often wonder the same thing. Like, what would some bands that like did, like I always wonder what Hendrix would sound like now.
oh
Like,
shit.
like if Hendrix went and recorded an album today, he lived to today, got to this point, got to make an album, what would it be like?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because he would have gotten to hang out with he would have gotten to hang out with Steve Vai at some point.
Yeah.
Oh,
And like,
sure.
yeah, like he would have gotten that experience. He would have gotten to grow up with all the other people that were around. Like that's, So that's kind of like my thought with it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
it definitely have to be one of my favorites that have passed.
Hendrix's mid '80s album to find out if he went through an awkward phase like so many of the others, or if he sailed through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if he got through that weird crush from like 89 to 92. Like Rush's Roll the Bones album is real weird. That's
Right.
all I'm saying. It's good, but it's not Rush. You know what I mean?
Yo,
Hell yeah.
I'd have to ask for an album from like one of my favorite vocalists that aren't around anymore. So
Yeah.
that'd either be Lane Staley or Chris Cornell or Mark Lanigan.
Hell yeah.
So yeah,
Oh, yeah,
if
those
I
are all
could
good
get- If I
choices.
get an album from any of those guys, more music, that would be
Yeah.
just
That's a
an
good
amazing
question,
day.
man.
Hey.
I mean,
Great question.
I'd love a new Sublime album. Like, we never got all of Brad's stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I know everyone's like, oh, Sublime. It's like, man, I got ties to it and I love it. It's my thing. But it's like, he's got a very small amount of, it's like comedian Ralphie May, right? It's like, I
Yeah.
could watch his stuff over and over and over again, but man, what would he be talking about
Mhm.
today?
Yeah. What would he be doing with any of the things that have happened?
Oh, yeah. He'd
recently?
be having a field day. But,
Yeah.
so it's like somebody that's gone to get an album from like Sublime or, like Led Zeppelin. I'm a drummer, so John Bonham, and Robert Plant kept his vocal notes for quite a long time,
Yeah.
and so it'd be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Some of that stuff.
All right. We're going to go ahead. We're going to start wrapping this up. Why don't we talk about what you have coming up in the future? Say like the first quarter of 2024. What can we look forward to?
we got a few shows. We're heading up to Olympia, playing Rhythms Coffee, the 29th, and then we're doing a New Year's show in Cathlamet.
Oh, exciting.
And then heading up to Centralia to play on the 20th.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Getting all around.
Yeah, so that's what we got going on right now.
Perfect. And then for this next one, I'll have you all look at the camera and just tell everybody how they can find you.
You Part-Time Perfect pretty much everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube,
Spotify.
Apple
Website.
Music. Yeah, we're not really on X, but other than that,
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, just
yeah.
cash us outside,
Hell yeah. All right. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you like to put on while you're on the show?
I mean, that damn steelhead behind my house, I'm so going to whoop that thing's ass. Oh, man.
Ray lives on a river.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
It's
torture.
not a shout out. It's a threat. I'm coming to get
It's a
you.
call out.
Yeah. All local musicians that we work with, really. For instance, we were talking about a band earlier, and it's like these two cats. I couldn't get away because of my situation right now, but these two cats went and saw that band, and the very next day, one of those frontmen from that band were at our show. It's like that is right there is what it's all about. I can't get to every single show. No one can.
Trust me, I feel it.
But it's go to shows. Go to shows and see them, and there's nothing wrong with spending $5 or $10 on a CD. And it is hard work. It is a lot of time. There's a lot of money involved, and it's like supporting local is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of musicians that will come out and see us, and randomly, it's like, oh, whoa. We played Olympia one time, and it was me and Colin doing a 2-piece, and one of our fans just drove by, and I was like, I think that's it. And I was like, no way. And it sure was. He's like, oh, I just made a day of it. I went over here and went to do the thing, and then I figured I'd see you guys on the way home. It's like,
Hell yeah.
Jesus, bro.
Hell yeah.
Much love. So that kind of stuff, just all of them, not any one particular person. Thanks, Ryan Walker. But,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anybody else you want to put on where you're on?
No.
I'm just kind of feeling what Ray was saying.
Yeah,
Perfect. Yeah. No, I mean, I think that summed it up perfect.
Folks who get involved in local music and participate by playing, being involved in putting on shows or in just showing up.
Oh, yeah.
All that, because no one ever showed up, then I mean, we'd still do it.
Yeah.
But
It'd just be a little quieter.
It just wouldn't be as fun.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
Yeah.
feel as good. So,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Now we've got one last question to go. But before we do, I'm going to steal the cameras for just a second. As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more time, shout out to Brothers Apothecary. As always, click the link below, go buy some stuff. Let's do it. But that being said, the final question. And this one will be an individual answer to wrap it all up. But what is an album that you think everybody should know?
Just top of the head, because recent conversation, and it's something that comes up here and there when I talk music with people. But a lot of folks haven't spent a lot of time with, they love rock music, They know Soundgarden, but they haven't spent time with Chris Cornell's first solo album, Euphoria Morning. It just gets so soulful, and his vocals are so just clear, and his range is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's and he's got Alain Johannes and his Alain's wife Natasha, they were on that, and they're amazingly talented musicians, and
oh yeah,
it's just such an insanely good piece of music.
No, that's a great choice.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm just gonna go with Led Zeppelin 2.
Solid. Do you think a lot of people don't know that album?
No, I think. Well, I mean, a lot of younger people might not know the actual album as much as just some of the songs off of it.
That's a valid answer.
Younger people don't like Led Zeppelin. They like whatever that band is.
Oh, Greta Von Fleet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was just popped into my mind first. So
yeah, that's a solid choice. All right. And what about you?
I would say "Screw Loose in the Engine Room" by Part-Time Perfect. You can check out our first and second albums. I mean, there's so many of them, really. But it's like somebody that doesn't respect or even care doesn't really need to hear.
Yeah.
Claypool's got some albums out that
let's assume most
the fancy band, right? You know, I worked with a guy once. Eli was a pretty cool cat, but Strive Roots, they have this one album out there that's, amazing. And I don't even know if they're playing anymore, but that album's great. He yodels during reggae. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. I mean, when you said it, it made sense.
It's
like, I can hear it.
Yeah.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
Not that I make an active thing of listening to yodeling.
Cool though. But I mean, I think there's albums that I'd like to hear. We went through that earlier, getting an album from someone, but I lost my mom in 2014, and I was in this other Project E-Teen Octave we talked about earlier, and we had some other weird name for the album or whatever, but I came home from that whole experience, and they renamed the album Mama Jane. And it's like I don't listen to it all the time, but every time I pop it in, I'm like, that's a damn good local album, Part-Time Perfect's, first album was rad if you knew what it was and how it came about, and that it's like a little 4-hour session in a little tiny room, and it's freaking rad. Oh, yeah. So there's so many albums out there I think that I need to hear for the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a gazillion bands out there I've never even heard of.
Well, the last 30 episodes have this exact same ending, so if you need some suggestions,
that's great.
Skip to the end.
Yeah. Exactly. I think I will, to get enlightened to new stuff. I love finding new music.
If you go to the first, I think 200 episodes of my show, it was all radio format. So if you want 70 songs a week's worth of music for a calendar year, I have 3,200 songs available. And most of them are from from 2022 to 23.
Oh, damn.
So there you go. But I'm not here to plug my show. That was the final question. So we are going to wrap this up, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
No problem. We appreciate being here.
Oh, yeah.
Good time.
Definitely.
This has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jam Box. I'm Jimmy.
We're the Jam Box.
We're
hold on one more time.
We're calling Rainy in the Jam Box.
I want to make things exciting in here.
We'll go ahead and end that there. But you guys, go ahead and shout out your band name one more time.
Part-Time Perfect.
Hell yeah.
Spotify. Play it. Listen to it. Hear it.
Hell yeah. All right. And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap. This is a show.
Keep jamming.